In this week's manga chapter of Dragon Ball Super, the origins of the Super Dragon Balls are finally revealed. Goku and Vegeta finish their training, and the ultimate tournament between the 7th and 6th universes is about to begin. Who cares about Champa's fighting team? We finally get to learn how big Bulma's boobies are this chapter. According to the great and wise Zuno, apparently Bulma originally was 87.2 centimeters, but as she's getting a little older, she's starting to sag a bit, and now she's at 83.4. That's right, this week's chapter introduced a number of new characters. Not only did we finally get to see Champa's fighting team, but we were also introduced to the mysterious and wise Zuno, who basically is this ancient monk who pretty much knows everything. And when you go to him, depending on who you are, how nice you are to him, he'll answer a couple of questions. And of course, Jacko the Galactic Patrolman's question was all about Bulma's boobies. However, Bulma was mildly attracted to Zuno, so she got 3 questions, and she got to learn a lot about the history of the Super Dragon Balls, which are nearly identical to the Dragon Balls that we saw before, except that they were created by this god dragon by the name of Zarma. I wonder who this Zarma is going to be, if he's going to be a separate character altogether, or if he's actually going to be the dragon who is summoned when all of these Super Dragon Balls are brought together. Just thinking about what that version of the dragon is going to be like is incredible. Just seeing its entire body just stretch across the universe. Maybe it's going to be a more humanoid form. Maybe Zarma is actually going to be a threat in the series. I'm just really interested to learn a little bit more about this. But the rest of the chapter is very simple. Just Goku and Vegeta just back-talking each other, doing a little bit of hardcore training in the hyperbolic time chamber. They go for 3 days, so that means they get 3 years of training. And then we get to see everybody's getting ready to go to the tournament, to the mysterious planet, and pretty much every major side character in the Dragon Ball series is going to be arriving to the tournament. Even Yamcha. Who invited that guy? The Kais from the 6th universe show up, which are very reminiscent of the ones that we've seen in the flashbacks during the Majin Buu arc, and then we finally get to see Champa's fighting team. Now, of course, this would all be a lot more exciting if it wasn't spoiled a week ago. Hell, I even made a video about it. But let's talk about these guys once again. First and foremost, there's the little Saiyan kid. This is the one that might be sort of like the wild card, because it could either be something really powerful or something kind of weak, and it's kind of hard to tell with the Saitama-like expression that's coming off of this character, looking very indifferent to be in this tournament. And then, of course, you have this big giant robot, which just the mere creativity and ridiculousness of this really gets me excited to see a robot in battle. It either is a robot or there is actually someone who is piloting it, which I think would be pretty awesome. Kind of like a mobile suit or like a mech. There's also this big, goofy, yellow bear-looking character, which, you know, if Majin Buu taught us anything, it's not to judge a book by its cover. Majin Buu is just a big, ridiculous space baby, and yet this thing right here could probably just be as threatening. In fact, it looks a little more threatening, and I just can't wait to see who's going to have to fight up against this thing. If it is Majin Buu, it's going to be absolutely perfect. And they, of course, noticed the one character who looks a lot like Frieza, almost to a T, more like the versions that you saw in the video game Dragon Ball Xenoverse, where you could create your very own version of Frieza. I'm really interested to learn, like, what that guy's deal is all about, because if he's a fighter, he might not necessarily be evil like the traditional version of Frieza. We might finally get to see a heroic version of a character from that race, which I think is finally going to be really awesome to see. But the one member of the group that I find the most mysterious is this one bald-looking alien character who, I'm not sure what it is about the character, but he just seems so threatening and ominous and just so awesome looking, like he's probably going to be like the ultimate final opponent. I'd say it's probably going to be him or the Frieza guy, but who knows, it could be Winnie the Pooh. And I cannot forget the brand new member who is going to be joining Goku's team, the strongest person that Beerus has ever fought, Monaka, who has the Grand Pontas, which basically means he's got really big nipples. Damn, you could cut glass with those things. When you can get past the whole, like, nipples on this weird little red alien with pointy ears, you have to accept that this guy could very well be one of the most powerful characters we've seen from the show. Whis is claiming that Beerus had a hard time with him and the people on his planet. And as I was saying earlier, just don't judge a book by its cover. This could be a joke character, or this could be something serious. He might even go through, like, a big transformation. All I know is, if he does transform, I hope it doesn't make his nipples bigger. So what's the rundown? On this week's chapter of Dragon Ball Super, we're finally moving into the brand new stuff from Dragon Ball Super, and so far, it's really exciting. I really just want to learn all about Champa's team, though. Like, that's the one thing that I'm really focusing on. I want to know their names. I want to know their backstories. I want to know if they're good or if they're evil. Just, I'm so interested in all of the new aspects. And yet, this still has this classic feeling of Dragon Ball, because you have all the characters coming together for a big tournament. Hell, even the Pilaf gang returns in this chapter. Yeah, why is the Pilaf gang there? Well, we have to have someone try and steal the Super Dragon Balls, don't we? That should be a lot of fun. I'm sure they can turn that into at least 2 episodes in the anime version. Otherwise, this chapter had a lot of humor going for it. Just the look of Zuno in general as this weird sort of Buddhist-looking monk character who was super exaggerated and knew absolutely everything in the universe. The interactions with Bulma were very fantastic, saying that she's sagging a bit, but frankly, I think Bulma looks fantastic. And I loved how they were actually traveling in the universe, the spaceship that Whis had, which was essentially just this big translucent box which was just flying through the galaxy. But yeah, at the end of the day, my favorite thing about this chapter is Champa's fighting team. They just look so awesome, and they just look like they're gonna go down as real classic Dragon Ball characters. I'm really excited to see what the fighting is going to be like. I'm ready to see some new techniques and just some brand new shit. And that's what we're about to get in Dragon Ball Super. So I loved this chapter right here. Probably my favorite chapter from the series just because everything was so fresh. So I'm gonna give this one a 5 out of 5. But if you did read this week's chapter of Dragon Ball Super, I would love to hear your thoughts about it. You can tell me in the comment section below. What do you think about Champa's fighting team? What do you want to learn about these characters? Do you have a favorite fighter from his team? What about the character of Monaka? Remember the little one with the nipples? What do you think his powers are going to be, and why is he so powerful? Will it actually involve his nipples or something else entirely? And what do you want to see from the tournament between the 7th and 6th universes? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this review. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby!